Hi there and welcome to NPT's community class. I'm Sarah and I'm going to be taking you through a chair program at a progressive level. Now by this stage, I've got my lovely client, Anna, who's already preparing herself with some breath work, settling into her body, settling into her center. With our progressive level class, the client already knows the chair a little bit. They already have been working at that intermediate to basic level. I want us today to really hone in on the progressive chair exercises. So we're looking at the standing leg press, we're looking at the side reach mermaid, kneeling cat stretch, as well as the floor swan. Now, I'm kind of working a little bit backwards today. I've got Anna doing these exercises. That's my goal here. But how am I going to get her ready? How am I going to warm her up? How is her body going to be ready to do those exercises? And that is where we have to kind of revert back and find our warm-up sequence as well to get her going into those exercises. Of course, we'll be doing other things too. We've got a full program to get through. Now, I'm going to hop on up. Let's get started. We will start on the mat. And Anna, I'm going to ask that you have a little sit up. Reaching the arms forwards for a roll back. So we've got that position here on our sitting bones. We're going to exhale, think deep abdominal, lower abdominal muscles, drawing the tail under as we roll back. We're just going to hover just before the lumbar lands. I call it that little sweet spot, that little tremor moment, a breath in, and you exhale. We're going to go over and restack the body. Good, we have 4 more of those to do. Aft. Good. I'm just checking here on Anna's alignment, so we're seeing whether or not she might be a little bit stronger on her left side by the looks of it. So I want us to shift into that right oblique, just that tiny little bit. And then again, we're going to roll under. Breath into the sides of the ribs. We exhale as you curl ourselves back up. Stacking up nicely. Watching the shoulders. Hannah's doing a really gorgeous job of this. And you're watching the tension of the shoulders. Beautiful. We're going to roll back up. And this being Anna's last one, she's going to roll all the way down onto her mat here. All the way. Beautiful. Good. Now let's slide those heels in towards the sitting bone. So they're sitting bone width apart. Hands, let's scoot over a little bit. Yeah. And pop the hands behind the head. Exhale, come up into your chest lift. Hold here in position, 2 breaths here in isometric hold. With each exhale, can we get more depth through the abdominals? Thinking flexion through that thoracic. Pelvis is anchored, but we've got still that really nice deep connection for the lower abs. Next exhale, one leg comes up to tabletop. Next exhale, second leg to tabletop. The legs are in tabletop, chest lowers down. We're going to go for a 1 breath count for a chest lift. Normally done as a 2 breath, today's a 1 breath. Exhale. Inhale back down again. Go a little bit wider with your elbows. That's it, Anna. Good. And 2 more to go. 1 more. Breathe in to grab the legs behind the thighs. Good, pulling yourself up with your next exhale. You're going to hold this position as you breathe in, and then reset and drawing the right knee in towards you as the left extends out. So this is your single leg position. You're monitoring that the legs are still very much parallel. Good, you inhale for your switch, and exhale to your drawing. Beautiful. We have 8 here in total. Good. Arms are active here. We're pulling that knee in at the same time that knee's pushing up against the hand. So that leg that's getting pulled in is important. It's not just having a little hug. We're working to get a little bit more height here. I believe Anna's approaching her 8th one. Well done, Anna. Thank you. Both knees will pull in. We're into 4-point double leg stretch here. So we're going to inhale into our 100 position. Exhale to circle those arms, reach for an inhale, and then exhale, drawing those knees in. You're always open to bring your head down between each one, Anna, if needed. Inhale to reach. Try and keep the torso lifted as we circle, reaching, inhaling, hugging back in. We shall do 2 more. And good. This is tough work, the 4-point. Good. It's really slow and connecting into our position. Good, and pulling back in again. Hands will go behind the head. We prep for our crisscross. I want us to find a crisscross position and just hold here. Good. Check that the knees haven't swayed left or right. Anna's doing very well. Now cross over and hold. Good. Cross over and hold. Can we gain a little bit more height? Nice, Anna. And other side. Good. Anna's got 4 more to go. And nice. Hugging the knees in and giving yourself a little moment there. Good. I'm on one high spring. We are moving into hamstring curl number 1. So this is where we pull down. The reason for it being light is we're going to do a little bit of a variation for her pelvic curl coming up. So for today's pull down, rather than having the heels on top of the foot bar, we are going to aim to go a little bit more towards where the heel and the arch meets at the soles of our feet. Then I'm going to put a little tweak because I can see she's a little bit off center and sometimes it's a little bit easier to move the chair. Now, we've got a nice neutral position through the spine. We're going to start to draw the pedal, and as a result, the feet will wrap. So thinking, draw the pedal towards you, Hannah. And as the hamstrings contract, flexing through those hips, we bring it down. Can we bring it down all the way? It's a little bit different, okay? So you find yourself standing on the pedal with your arches. Then you're going to draw the pedal up, not all the way up, maybe 2/3 of the way up, because we're working in that load. So again, not the strongest spring. We can definitely do stronger for Anna. She's more than capable. But what we're trying to do is just find a little bit more mobility, finding the work in that isolated manner. And again, Anna, good. Exhale, drawing all the way down, finding the grounding of the feet. Good, and then returning. Good, so you really should be feeling the thigh bone sinking into the pelvis as that pedal is drawing down. Good, and I suggest maybe 1 more for it. Hold it down this time. So you've got your bird's foot, you've wrapped over those arches. We move into pelvic curl. We imprint on our exhale. We wind the pubic bone towards our nose. We hold here. Thigh bones are parallel. Good. So those adductors are switching on. Sinking the sternum, we curl back down again. Make sure we land that pelvis. Return it to neutral. Careful not to overshoot neutral. And we keep the pedal down. So we're active through those hamstrings. Drawing back up. Good. Collarbones are broad, palms are energized and pressing into the floor. And Anna's got about 4 more of those. Good with each one. Hopefully we're gaining a little bit more mobility through the spine, a little bit more articulation. Now we've got just 1 more here. And landing the tail. Good. Carefully bringing the pedal up. Controlling it up. Arms go to a T. For today, we go palms up, just to give Anna a little bit more openness through her shoulders and then a little bit more external rotation. We float the legs up to tabletop with our engagement. We'll keep the ankles together. I do not mind the knees being a little bit apart. What I want to feel is that sinking sensation. Keeping the rib cage grounded into the floor. You inhale using your obliques to twist. And then you'll exhale to return. Good. And inhale to twist. And exhale to return. Good. How far can we go? How much can we challenge? Anna's been doing spine twists for a while. So can we get more depth? Can we challenge it? Yes, Anna. Good. I know. And the hard bit is, as we get challenged, can we still maintain that rib connection without flaring? Good. I know I'm in the way of the camera. Good. Bring the legs back to center, extending the legs up, slight external rotation. This time, turn the palms down for more anchorage. We move into pendulum. You inhale. So long leverage is going to challenge it even more. Exhale, draw it back. Good, we're alternating here. Good, we got to warm those obliques up for those mermaids for later on, right? Good. Good, Anna's going to do 2 more whilst I grab some hand weights. Good. We're going to bend the legs and pop the legs down, and we're going to move into side lying. So Anna, you're going to carefully pop the feet down. You're going to slide yourself down on your mat. You're going to turn to the camera for our first position. Got a nice elongated position, underarm is extended. We've got feet possibly a little bit forwards of our body if we need a little bit of stability, but Anna, I would like to challenge and keep her in line. Lucky you. All right. One hand, top hand holding onto the weight. We're moving straight into rotator cuff work. So we're going to go 90 degrees here at the elbow. We're going to set the scapula. Good. And we're going to open up through that collarbone. We've got an exhale to open, find that spiral within the socket, and then return. So you're just watching. We're not emphasizing by driving the elbow back. Good. We've got about 6 to 8 of those today. I reckon we'll stick to 8. Good, really warming up those external rotators through Anna's shoulders for all the goodness that she's about to do with the pedal. So we are definitely going straight into some arm work here. Last one, bringing it up. Hold it there, that becomes your new start position. From here, you're just going to turn your weight so it faces your shoulder. Good, and then you're going to spiral up and rotate that weight to the hip. So not to me, just to the hip, that's it. And then spiral back. Good, so nice fluid action, rotating within the joint. Think ball and socket rotation. Good. So I'm seeing here as Anna's starting to work through that weight, she's still very much stable through her body. She's lengthened, she's feeling long between her ribs and her hips. She's got that 3-dimensional wrap happening through her torso, and her legs are very much still active. So well done. Hopefully Anna's counting. Have we got our 8? Perfect. Thank you. I love a good counter. Okay. We've got our 8 here. Isometric hold for the top leg. You're going to feel like it lengthens longer than the bottom leg as it pulls out of its socket. Yes, there's that change in her hip. Good. And then we're going to just hold here, turn the weight so it turns to the hip. We're going to lower it to your hip, and then we're going to lift it up. So we've got abduction work here and side lying. We've got 8 here. Good. Good, definitely. So you got your exhale for that lift. Just maintaining that stable position is tough work. If needed, that bottom leg can always bend to 90 degrees for a little bit more surface stability. Anna's doing a lovely job here. You should feel like as if the scapula is sliding up and rotating with the arm. That flowing mechanism there at the back of the rib cage. On her 8th one, she's going to hold it. Oh, good timing. And then rotate the weight so it faces her ear. And this is where we're going to be careful. We want an elongated arm. And we want to feel like we're wrapping underneath the armpit as that arm goes overhead. And then it returns. So this one becomes quite tough. And we want to be careful we don't overdo it in the upper trap region. So again, we're just monitoring. Yes, the scapula will slide this time up and through. Good. And those deltoids are going to say hello as well. Good. Knitted for the front. Good. And how is that glute med feeling? So here I've just kind of given a little bit of a distraction. So glute med is firing up, which will be really nice and strong and ready for some single leg standing work. Good. Once Anna does her 8th one, she's just going to keep the arm there, rotate it towards the front, and she's going to go into 8 lifts with her legs. And we're going to go a little bit stronger, a bit more of a tempo here, and up and down, and up and down, and up. Good. So I kind of call it that little dimple zone here. So we're not hinging at the hip, we're working through that hip. Good. Once 8 are done, all she's going to do is pop that leg down and rotate to the other side. So we'll get a glimpse of Anna on her other side. So we'll get a glimpse of her alignment here through her spine, through her back. Good. She's doing a good job setting herself up. I'm going to suggest bringing your hips slightly forwards for me. Yep, not the feet, the hips. So you're going to scooch yourself forwards. There she is. Good. So that strong position again through her legs, through her torso. She's ready for her rotator cuff position. So her elbow goes to the seam of her shirt rather than behind. And we open and close. So that's your pivot action here. I almost call it like a little Allen key rotating. Good. Good. I can sense here a little bit more if I could get her scapula to sort of sit back a little bit more. Yeah. On her 8th one, she'll leave it up. She's ready to go. And she spirals up and she spirals in. And we have our 8 here before we leave them up there. Good. So feeling how it rotates within the capsule. Good. And she's ready here. She's going to now lower that weight down towards her hip. Oh, you've already lifted your leg. Well, yes, did I have you lifted? I think so. I did, cheeky me. Here we go. Thank you. A little lift. Good. So isometric hold. I apologize. Thank you, Anna, for reminding me. Good. We have our 8 here before we go into our overheads. So at the same time, we've got that length through the leg, almost longer than the bottom leg. Ribs are still wrapped, thinking TVA. Good. Good. And we go for our overhead. As mentioned before, challenging work, particularly with the overhead. So if the client needs to, the underleg can bend. Good. Overshoot. Yeah, come back up. That's it. There. You probably have. On the 8th one, we keep it there. We keep the weight facing forwards. That's it. Into our 8 lifts. A little bit more dynamic, so it's not too slow. It's a little bit of a quicker pattern. Good. So we're really switching in those into that target muscle of the glute med. Well done, Emma. Good. Good. Flip over onto your back. No, onto your tummy. And we'll move into half cobras into full. Half for to be a prep, we'll just do 2. I want a nice W position with those hands. A little bit, yes, wider than the mat. Legs are together. Good. And then therefore, we're pushing the feet into the floor. Kneecaps are lifted, navel's drawn in, and we've got that openness through the collars. So we've printed the body, it's switched on. We're inhaling, we lead through the crown of the head. We find that thoracic lifting, breastplate spreading apart as it's leading the way, maintaining an elongated neck. And then we can come down on their exhale. Feel like you're dragging yourself forwards, lengthening yourself out even more. One more of those. And good. Working hard for the legs to feel anchored through the pelvis. Ribs are still engaged. Abdominals are lengthened, but they're not off. They're still drawn and supported. Good. Full cobra for 2. And exhale to continue the work. Good. There it is. And then wrap the elbows neatly beside us. Good. So the elbows are the first thing that comes into contact to the floor before the rest of us follows. And just one more. And this extension will be absolutely needed for her floor swan later on. And then wrapping those elbows and bringing us down. Good. And are you going to push yourself up? We're going to turn around. And I'm going to bring the pedal down. And I would like you to just pop your hands onto the pedal. No, you're going to be 4-point kneeling, but using the pedal here. So we start to feel the connection of the hand and palm to pedal. And that real strong pull up. Good. Cat stretch. We have 3. You're going to exhale, draw the abdominals under, tail draws under, head draws under. Good. You're going to inhale. We're going to bypass neutral. We're going to make this as a 1 breath count instead and work into your thoracic extension. You're still pushing through the pedal. And again, exhale, draw on up. And lead through the crown and the tail. Widen the collarbones, widen the sitting bones. And exhale. Good. So you got your pivot point. You're pivoting through your hips, through your shoulders. Return to neutral. Good. Sometimes it's a little bit hard. Let's pull you up a little bit, finding neutral. And then the head. Yeah. But push it up into my hand a little bit. Yeah. Beautiful. Good. Slide one leg out. We're moving to front support. So the toe flaps under. We check that the pelvis is nice and level. And then the second leg on your exhale comes out. Hips are in line. Good. We're neutral through the pelvis and through the spine. We're strong through the shoulder complex. The serratus, the outer side of those little muscles that live on the outer sides of your shoulder blades are working hard. Good. We're going to now bring a pike up through the tail, lifting. Good. Adjusting a little bit. What we're aiming for is a real strong openness, shoulder extension. Heels are down, sitting bones are winding. So thinking about our cat stretch for later on the chair. Then pivot back. Good. Nice. Love it. So one long diagonal line, heels are drawing back. And last time into pike. Good. Keep the ribs a little bit more switched in there, Anna. Yes. So just watching, don't let go, particularly for our flexible people who can or are able to get into that lovely pike position, still maintaining a good, strong torso connection. And you're going to walk your feet in towards you. You're going to find yourself at the base of your roll down. So feet are parallel, dropping the head. Finding your hips over your feet. Good. Feet are grounded into the floor, legs are strong, tummy pulls in. Retract the arms back into your shoulders as we roll ourselves all the way back up again. Good. Good. Nicely done. So yes, the warm-up was a little bit longer today, but I wanted to emphasize just how much we could actually achieve to, by using the regressions of the exercises we are going to be doing in progressive level. All right, we've got 2 springs on heavy. We are going to set ourselves up for leg and footwork doubles. I'm going to tweak that camera so we get to see Anna a little bit more centered versus in the corner. There she is. Oh, we might have a bit of space trouble. Well, maybe not. We're going to see. All right, so I'm going to have Anna here with the pulse. She's seated forwards. By this stage, she has done leg and footwork already. She knows she's tried to position herself. And then you're going to scooch yourself a little bit to the left. Definitely pop yourself out there. Okay, so she's centered a little bit forwards of the chair. Her heels are on the pedal. And she's just going to press down to an isometric hold. 90-90 here. And she's going to set herself up. She's going to be really anchored for her pelvis. No spillage going forwards or back. Pulse series 1, we're going to inhale, opening up through the shoulders. And because her shoulders are nice and healthy, we're going to go for the full range straight away. Good. We lift up, let the hands slide, and we return. Good. And I know, notice as well that Anna's still has that little bit of tenderness to sway into her left side. That is her little tightness that she likes to do. So we're just watching here that, yeah, she gives herself that little bit of a shift. Good. We aim for 4. Again, we're opening up the shoulders here for that extension work. So thinking floor swan. Good, and her last one that she's going to do, she's going to go all the way up and place it behind her. Watching that it doesn't dip in or press into her neck. She wants that pole, oh, I'm going to move her little ponytail, her pole right down low so that she's actually got that real openness for her pec. She might almost feel neurally when she's in this position. She's nodding her head saying yes. Good. A lot of the times we like to grip the pole. I find clients like to do that. So I'll get her fingertips nice and lengthened. So she's really got the pole really in her wrist rather than holding on. Good. She's ready. We're staying here. And for her spine twist, you're going to twist, keeping the pedal steady, which is hard work. The moment the pedal starts to move, I'm going to gauge that possibly she's then also moving her pelvis. Good, so it's a good indicator here. Inhale for a twist, and then to return. And twist, to return. Lovely. Even on both sides, Anna. Just one more. Good, just one more. We add here, and this is again thinking about your side reach, but your mermaid. So you twist. Good. And then can we exhale and deepen into that oblique? So it's rotation and flexion. We stack the spine back up again and then return. Again, inhale for our twist. You exhale to deepen. Good. And stack back up again to return. And it's going to do 2 more in her body. Good. By this stage, maybe some of those VMO muscles are starting to say hello as well in that isometric hold. Very healthy for her knees. Good. Lovely. Good. She keeps the pole there. She brings the pedal up. There we go. She gets a nice squeeze happening from the underside, but we keep monitoring that she doesn't lean back. So we're wrapping the ribs here. Yes. You're going to exhale to press down. and then inhale, drawing back up again. Good. Just as much work as the quads are doing, so too I want a little bit of hamstring work. That pull-up is as important, feeling the flexion of the knees are happening from the hamstrings. Good, good, strong hip flexor work, and think lower tummy really working hard here to pull up and pull up. Good, doesn't necessarily need to go all the way down. We are monitoring how far we can go so we don't spill the pelvis forwards. Anna's done about 8, I do believe. She's going to press halfway down. We're going straight onto toes. Good, she's going to move that pedal up. Good, and she's got her set here. I'm going to be watching that she's got her feet nicely in line, her thighs are nice and parallel. And her heels aren't lifting too high. She's still got a little bit of pull down with her heels, getting a bit of a stretch through the Achilles as well. Good, you're going to drop that shoulder down a little bit. Yeah. Beautiful. She squeezes her heels together. We go into V. Think knees, yep. Knees towards the armpits or the shoulders, not wider. So although, again, her relationship between her external rotators, abductors versus her adductors, they're still in play. They're still monitoring and managing that position. Good. Wide heels, you got it. Good. Like I mentioned before, your client already should know their sequence, should know it well. Oh, a little less turnout. Yeah, a little bit less. Yes. Good. And because of this, I'm going to add a little bit more to it. She's going to press down, work slowly, press down, hold, and now tilt. Good. As she returns back, the pedal comes up. She'll press and tilt. And return back. Good. So she works here. Good. So really feel that rib cage lifting up and over. This is something that you want to start to introduce to a client that you know is quite strong and stable for the pelvis already with their leg and foot work. And it's going to press down. We're going to go toes. And we're going to move just for another set of 8. No tilts. We're working through this. The heels are in between the springs and the boards. Good. Good, nice and controlled. Good, you're going to slide those hands. You're going to bring the pole back in front of you, and then you're going to press on down into toes parallel. We've got a little bit of a different version of activating through our calves in our calf raises. So really monitoring and working through the Achilles range as well as Solaris work. So what we want is a nice position where the legs are parallel to the floor. I'm going to bring those knees up just slightly. Anna's using the pole against her thighs for feedback. So the pole should remain exactly where it is and her thighs exactly where it is. She's going to now push the pedal down. Her shins are going to come forwards. So she's going to really work up and pull up through these muscles. Good. And then she's going to draw the heels down as the pedal comes up, working for length in the Achilles. We're monitoring here her ankle stability and alignment. Good, good. Advantage here is that we can, now she's doing very well. Good. And the tricky thing here is that the legs will want to press down and go away from the pole. So can we work for that isolated range? We'll probably about do 2 more of those before we hop off. Good. All right. So we've activated the ankles, we switched them on. Anna's going to keep her pole. Lucky you. And we're going to move into some standing a leg press work. Particularly if we're introducing a client for the first time to standing up. Using the pole is a nice way to get some balance as well. So Anna's going to have the pole to one side. She's going to be standing in front of her chair and about a foot distance away. So I'll probably go a little bit further back with Anna. Because she's got some nice long legs too. All right. Now, here, I want us to bring the right leg up. So let's take this as a balance actor already. One hand out to the side, balance, nice narrow stance. We're going to take that right leg up and we're going to float it up and we're going to hold it and hover it over the foot bar. Hover it for 4, 3, 2, 1. The ball of the foot lands on the pedal. Good. We take a moment. I'm going to suggest you bring your foot a little bit closer in for a bit of a narrower stance. And of course, there is a natural little bit of a sway of the pelvis. Has to be. We're standing on one leg. But at the same time, I want you to feel that wrapping sensation into those deep lateral rotators of that leg that is lifted to keep the hips and that sitting bone a little bit down. Heel is lifted like Anna has. Good, and we're going to take a breath out as we draw the pedal towards us, so hamstrings are active, just do a hover, and we're going to control it back up, finding that deep hip flexion, so think about that thigh bone, still pulling back into the pelvis. Good. Again, like I mentioned, really nice way to introduce the standing leg work with a little bit of a balance assist. So you can really hone in on our alignment, on feeling nice and tall. So again, we're feeling that right leg, of course, moving through the pedal, using the contraction of the hamstring to pull, glute to push. At the same time, standing legs pushing through the floor. We want to grow tall for that leg. And that leg is the fatiguing leg. We have 8 of those. Hopefully you've been counting. Good. Now let's find that balance challenge again. Can she lift that leg? And this time hold for another 4, 3, 2, 1. Before she now takes the foot back to the inner knee. Yes, hold it again for 4, 3, 2, 1 before she slides it down. So just making sure that the client again is working up about how to get into the exercise and out of the exercise, almost making it an exercise on its own. Lucky you. Good, nice and tall. We lift, we hover for 4, 3, 2, 1. Place the ball of the foot, keeping the heel elevated. Find that wrap of the thigh bone as we draw it in and down, and then returning with control. Good. We'll pull up through our center as well, and grounding through the floor. And there's a lovely job here. Good. Good. So I'm checking as I go along. Anna might want to shift her ribs just back a little bit more. Ah, do you see that? Tempting, tempting. But it gets a little bit more into your legs versus putting your body weight into the step. Good. We've got a hover for 4, 3, 2, 1. Foot to the inner knee for another hold. 3, 2, 1. We slide. Good, fantastic. All right, and then give me the ball. Good, we're moving on. We're moving towards rest down. So think this is where we want to go for our cat stretch. So we're not just going to go there straight away. We're going to do some press downs over the chair first. So I'm going to keep Anna at that spring, a high single spring. We're going to take Anna around to the other side. All right, she's going to come nice and close, a little bit narrower if you can for the feet. Yeah, even those footsies going underneath wheels. We're going to reach those arms up. Again, thinking our entrance is just as important. We're going to feel like we're lifting up and over the chair. Again, feet are grounded. The pelvis is over the legs. So just watch the pelvis as it sit back into the hamstrings. So I've got to move more into a shape. If you think about your form, it's like a little elephant. So you've got your scoop of the tummy, the head is long, the chin is drawn in. Good. From here, we press down. Thinking inhale to lengthen through the spine. We're going to watch it doesn't become too much of an extension. I want more elongation. So think long diagonal line. You exhale, draw up. And of course, those hamstrings are going to be saying hello. You lengthen out, think crown of the head towards the floor. Good. And then up, checking that the shoulders haven't elevated. Good. So again, there's that pushing through the pedal, but at the same time of drawing back into the body. And let's aim for about 4 more, Hannah. Good. Feeling the sitting bones lifting towards the ceiling. Legs are switched on, so I want to see those kneecaps drawn up. Even more with the head. Chin drops in. Yeah, even lower. That's it. Good. And drawing back up. Beautiful. And then you got your roll up. Stunning. We're ready. Cat stretch. We're going to start by kneeling. I would sort of say the scariest bit about this position is actually getting into position, getting out of the position. Again, we've got a 1 spring on high, so a strong 1 spring. I'm going to spot Anna here. Arms will come up to the ceiling again. She is in the middle of the chair. She doesn't want to be too far forwards, otherwise it's too tight for her to roll down, but she wants to be able to still push her shins down into the chair. My arm is going to come over her, so she's going to roll over my arm. Good. She's going to try and maintain the hips over the knees. There will be a little bit of a sit back, but we're trying. She did a good job there. Now, the abs are contracted. We are rounded through that flexed position. We're going to inhale to lengthen from the crown again. Here, Anna, I want you to drop your head even more, and tuck your chin in. Yes, and push up into my hand here. Yes. And now abs draw back up, tail rounds. So hamstrings, lats, and abs. And it's like you're peering over a cliff. Good. I want you to create space between each vertebrae. We'll aim for about 5, Anna. Good. How far can she challenge herself? Good. Yeah. Look at you. More than able to challenge herself. Good. Aha. And that can be your last one. I'm just going to hold, not hold, but just spot Anna as she completes her move. Yes. Again, lots of work for the hamstrings. Abs. Beautiful. You can always have them open and you can pop yourself down safely. Very good. Very good. I'm just going to drop it down, 1 on 3. I'm going to move into our side reach to mermaid. So Anna's already been practicing her side reaches, so she should be able to set herself up. Good, and then off. And therefore I can come around and have a little bit of a switch check of her alignment. I might switch you a little bit further in so you just feel a little bit more supportive for that right hip. Good, leg is nice and long, arms to a T position. I'm going to go and set her up a little bit more this way, and I'm going to think about the rib cage coming towards me a little bit, so we're not so forwards of the sitting bones. We're going to go for an aeroplane tilt, so you're going to think lifting out, just like we did with the pole, and then the hand lands on the pedal. Good, we're going to keep the arm here today, so I want fingertips all the way to the pole, that energy all the way. And then from here, you're going to press long again, checking in with that right shoulder, feeling length through that top side, and then exhale to return, and we go back down. Good. So yes, that is there beautiful times where we can reach the arm overhead, but I want Anna to feel this strong, straight alignment through both her arms. Good. Good, Anna, you'll do 5. And on Anna's last one, she's going to press it down and she's going to hold it there. Good. So it's pressed down and we exhale to wrap around, top hand lands to the pedal. Then we open the arms up to the pedal. So we want to try and square the shoulder blades as much as possible to the pedal. Tricky. Head is still down. Good. We're rounded. The pedal is down. We're flexed. We're going to inhale into extension. We're going to watch that it doesn't happen too much from the head and the pedal comes up. Yes. You're going to lead your breastplate forwards and up. Aha. There's that little extra. And then exhale, we go over. Good. Lengthening out through that QL. And then inhale, lifting through those thoracic extensors. Good. Good. You get really cheap and pulling that chin. Yes. See that little chin tuck. Good. Aim for your 5. Now, Anna, we're going to press down. To come out of mermaid, we have the pedal down. Now, the hand steps into the middle. And that top hand opens out to the side. So same way we got in, same way we got out. Now I think lift up. Good. And then we tip back. Other side. Well done. Ooh. Ooh. Good. Nice. So I'm having a little walk around Anna while she sets herself up. Good. Switch your bottom a little bit further that way, I'd suggest. Yeah, just a little bit. Yeah. So feeling a little bit more supported here. We tip. Think lift to tip. Set the shoulder. Get that energy. Five through. And can you wrap your thumb? Do you reckon? Yeah. Yeah, that's like a little tweak there through her shoulder as well. On her 5th one, she'll stay down. Remembering our transition, keeping the pedal down. Think about the obliques wrapping you into rotation and flexion, squaring the shoulders and squaring the hands. And then we inhale to bring the pedal up as we find our thoracic extensors and those external rotators as well. So right into here. Yes, and we go over. Good. So depending on tightness, some people will feel it in their QS, some people will feel it in their hips, even ITV. Good. You're really gauging that real stretch through the fascia, through the skin as well. On Anna's 5th one, she'll stay down and she'll transition herself out the same way that she came in. Good. So she's still got that energy through that top hand all the way to the bottom hand. And then she's going to lift out of her obliques, thinking lifting tall. Good. And hopping up. Yay. Good. All right. We're popping ourselves down onto the floor. Lucky you. Into floor swan. I'm bringing the spring down a little bit further. All right. So one on low. And it's going to position herself about a head distance away. I know. And I'm going to help her out here a little bit for bringing the pedal in, and she's going to reach her hands forwards. Now, let's, and are having a little bit of a tightness in her shoulders, we are going to go a little bit wider. She is holding onto the rods rather than the pad. That is okay. Okay. And we're just going to move into a little bit of shrugs. Make sure you're holding on though with wrap the thumbs. That's it. Good. Legs are in line with the sitting bones. So yes, as together as possible with those abductors. Tops of feet, legs are energized. Kneecaps are pulled up. Pubic bone is down. Think neutral through the pelvis. Navel drawn in, collars are broad. So think of that half and full cobra that we did at the beginning. A little bit of a shrug here for me, and I'll let the bar lift. Let the shoulders lift. So feel the scapulars glide up the back of the rib cage, and then feel how they slide back down and broadly. Good. So you're setting the arms up. Feel like that spiral sensation. Hello, spiral, right? It starts to play here. Good. Beautiful. So she's done a lot of work already here, just by working through her shoulder girdle. Now Anna's going to retract her head, so she's going to float the forehead up. She's going to draw that pedal, spiral into those arms, and lift herself up to floor swan. She's going to hover that pedal slightly off the platform, so it's not going to land. Her ribs are still engaged and pulled up, abs are still supporting her. Seesaw back down. So as the pedal lifts, she's going to start to pull her chest forwards and down. Good. And okay. Good. So there's that shoulder retraction, head retraction. Good. And feeling the shoulder blades sliding down like a little V shape. Good. Lower abs are active. They're drawing in. They're supporting the lumbar. So I want the thoracic extensors, but at this height, yes, the lumbar is going to switch on, but it's not predominant. It's not the muscle that is working. I want us to think about the whole extensors through the spine working. And even the hamstrings as extensors should be working. They're anchoring, they're supporting. Beautiful. And if this will be your last one. I've got the pedal, you can let go. You're going to push back into your rest position for a second. Good. Give yourself 2 deep breaths. And then she's going to busy herself and pop some ankle weights on for me. Lucky you. We're going to do a leg series here for strap work on the baby arm. We're going to start to teach the client with, as does with the spine corrector, to pop the bottom down. So I might get Anna. Which way are we going? Okay, so you can switch your bottom down here. Start to lie yourself over the arc and push yourself through working with your feet. So you're going to lie your head down, walk your feet in. That's it. So a client already is starting to get comfortable with the idea of putting themselves into inversion to get themselves into position. Good. You're going to bring your shoulders over to your right. That's better. A little look, setting the client up here. One leg is going to draw in. So we want to have the sacrum and the lumbar supported by the arc. I'm going to get you to scoot down and a bit more. That's it. One leg coming up to tabletop and then the other follows. Good. So the torso, although hovered over the arc, is still very much, spine is very much neutral, so too is the pelvis. From there, legs go up to perpendicular. They're going to be perpendicular to the floor and then externally rotated. We move into 6 openings. You're going to inhale to open out. The adductor lengthening, but also contracting to draw back in again. Good. You're stabilizing your work within your abductors. Again, co-relationship as we open and close. We're working evenly. Anna's doing lovely work here. Good. And I'm going to tweak the camera so we get to see Anna a little bit more. Looky her. There we go. Good. Then we'll move straight into our scissors. So we're going to take one leg towards it, but also I really want to emphasize the leg that's coming down, that we find the support of the hip extensors, that gravity is not just doing the work, we're working hard into that grease. Then from here, we turn through to center. So let's bring those legs back to perpendicular. We swap over. And exhale together. And good. Keep them a little bit externally rotated. Let's see if that little hip little noise goes away. Good. So really pulling up from deep abdominals. I want the psoas. It is getting loaded, particularly as it goes down, but it's loaded in a real lengthened state. So we've got to really find that strength there to bring it in. And that stopped it the moment I talked about the psoas, didn't it? Yeah, she had a little bit of clunking, but we kind of starting to talk through mechanics a little bit and where to work from, and that's already cleared her up a little bit. So working into that psoas assisted that. All right, bicycles. So we're going to go into our switch first. We're going to lengthen bottom legs, really sweeps down low. It can, particularly on a baby arc, and lengthen and pedal and lengthen. I want to get that range happening. Or working through our stabilizers are really, yes, it's unilateral work. So we're just really monitoring that the legs don't sort of start swaying left or right, or even crossing the plumb line. That's another one we're going to watch out for. Good. Anna's going to complete her 8, and then she's going to reverse, which always is a bit of a brain tease. It's the one where we just start to notice if we've been paying attention. Good. Beautiful. So working for that length. Good. So again, watching as the foot lowers down, it doesn't cross the plumb line. Good. Yes, that's better, Anna. Go, once you've done your right there, you're going to draw one knee in towards you. Then you're going to let that foot pull away and down for a hip flexor stretch. Okay, a few little breaths. I'm going to come on in a little bit. I'm going to set it up. If the quads are tight, the leg might pop off to the side a little bit. Feeling that pull apart. I want someone to really draw through the abs and feel that pull up into the diaphragm at the same time as that leg really pulls down low. Good. While she's doing that, I'm going to be sneaky and take her ankle weights off. So it'd also be quite nice after stretching the hip flexors that she doesn't feel overloaded to come and bring her knee back in again. So she's going to just pull her heel towards her and then pull that knee in, and the other one is going to lengthen out to let the heel drop and stretch there. Good. Again, a few breaths, getting the abdominal wall feeling like it's not only just going down, but really pulling that way as the leg's going that way. Good. I'm going to remove that. And then she's going to pop her feet down. Good. Okay. We're going to finish off a little bit. We're going to lift our bottoms up, and I'm going to take the arc away from you. Yeah. Beauty of a little arc. Just remove it. Now, instead, I'm going to get Anna to extend her legs forwards, reach her arms up, and give me a roll up. Yes. Good. She's going to scoop her tummy and roll back. She's going to take her arms overhead. She open up for those shoulders. And she's going to take those arms back. She's going to tuck. You're going to tuck your chin in. Good. And really wrap and sink into here. Good. Shoulders are down. She comes forwards. Good. Good. And she just then contracts for those abs. Think lumbar leading the way back to the arc. And we'll just do one more here, Anna. Good. And half of one, so she can come on up to seated. We're going to reposition. We're going to do a version of the shoulder roll. We're going to be lying down on the side over the barrel. One leg will be extended, the other under leg will be bent. Anna will support her head today. So making sure we actually scoot ourselves a little bit further forwards of arc. That's it. So we've got somewhere to roll to. And she's going to support her head and her neck because just being on that large spine correctors, and it takes a little bit of time to understand how to keep the head rested as well. Top hand sweeps up for a wave. Good, getting that length. And then from here, we're starting to open up through the shoulder. So think like you're wrapping your armpit to the ceiling. Thoracic rotation starts to occur, and then the rest of the body follows. That will mean opening up through the hip as well. Good. She's going to go to where she feels safe and comfortable. And then she's going to start from reverse action. So she's going to wrap through her obliques, wrap back and stack her shoulders up, and then return her hand as a wave back to her hip. Good. And let's just do 2 more here. Going over. Good. And good. And you're thinking about the work that we did in the warm-up with all of the additional overhead work. We've prepped that arm. We know it can go there. So it's a nice way to release. Oh, jealous, I like this one. I'd like to do it too. Beautiful. Lovely, Anna. And you're just going to go to the other side to finish your release work. Good. As you can see, she's adjusting herself. She's bringing herself a little bit forward. She's got somewhere to roll to. She creates her wave. Good. So her scapula is gently sliding across as such as my hand follows. And then from there, she starts to open up through her shoulders. So just watch that it's not just the chest yet. Now let the chest open up. Now let the rest of the body follow. Good. Start from the leg and pelvis, obliques, thoracic, shoulder. Arm waves back. Beautiful. See if you can turn the palm up to the ceiling as you do that. Yeah, that should open you up a little bit more. Yes. On to that last one. So Anna puts the arm up, she rotates. So there's that little spiral action again. And as she opens, she spirals the arm as well. So yes. One hand is supporting her head and her neck, but she's still letting herself go into that thoracic extension. Beautiful work. Good. Well done, Anna. Well, love it. Thank you for joining us. Hopefully that made a little bit of understanding and programming in the sense of seeing where our target goal is of exercises and seeing how we can adapt them to the warm-up. So thank you for joining, and I'll see you another time.